Hey, on the channel from Super 7 Ultimates line, we've got War Paint, Conan the Barbarian. Welcome everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel for another Super 7 Ultimates unboxing and review. And today from the Conan the Barbarian line, we've got War Paint, Conan the Barbarian. But for all your Super 7 needs and a whole lot more, hit up Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below. So Conan at the table, Arnold Schwarzenegger at the table, 80s, 90s action adventure staple, of course. If you're a kid of me, like me, of the 80s, you know all about Arnold for the most part. You've probably seen almost all of his movies, and I've seen a lot of them as well. But Conan the Barbarian, a childhood favorite, always reminded me of He-Man, of course. That's why I liked it a lot. Obviously, we know He-Man, a lot of that was probably based, they might not say it a whole lot, but a lot of it was based on the Conan mythology, we'll call it. But Super 7, a very, very good job. We unboxed Thulsa Doom on the channel already. Check that one out if you missed that one. Kind of the bad guy to Conan's hero, so you can kind of get the yin and the yang. But where is Wilt Chamberlain? Give us a Wilt Chamberlain figure. We're ready for Wilt Chamberlain in the Conan line. How cool would that be? Maybe another day, and if he does come out, I'm definitely picking that one up. But we're going to do like we normally do here. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. We're going to start it off, we're going to show the old mailer box, whatever you want to call it, for Conan. Pretty plain, but really cool. I always like and appreciate Super 7 does send those out, a little added protection for our figures, for sure. Now we get down to Super 7, we get the beautiful packaging here, a nice weathering, I don't know if that's the right word, but a nice feel, a nice texture to the packaging on this one. Very serpent-like on Thulsa Doom, I guess kind of the same type feel going on here, but more war paint look. It looks like Conan in his war paint is what we look like here. Conan the Barbarian right there. Of course, we got this. And then on the back, much like we had his dagger, knife, whatever you want to call it for Thulsa Doom, Conan's patented sword right there, looking good. So then this, of course, is easily removable. We just slide that bad boy off, put that off to the side over there, and we're down to the brass tacks. We've got Conan the Barbarian. There he is in the package. Look at that. Look at that big old sword. Love the blood on the end. He's got his war paint, and if there's anything Kyle loves, a little face paint, a little war paint, man, sign me up all day long. We got that. We got two heads, some accessories, all the fun stuff. Name down there, Conan. Looking good. Nothing too fancy over there. Nothing too fancy there. We slide the knife in there. Get that ready to go. And on the back, we got a blurb. We'll read and see what it says about Conan. It looks like he's getting ready to steer the pirate ship with that going on there. But we'll see what it says about old Conan the Barbarian, War Paint Edition. After surviving a crucifixion in the desert. You know, I've always said it's never good to get crucified in the desert. It's probably one of the worst places to get crucified. In the desert, Conan and his comrades Valeria and Sobati, I'm trying to remember back, infiltrate the Mountain of Power. Ready for a fight with their weapons and war-painted bodies, they stumble across a dark scene and learn of Thulsa Doom's secret to longevity. In the ensuing battle, Conan and company scatter Thulsa Doom's harem, rescue King Osric's daughter, and kill many of his guards before attempting to escape the mountain stronghold. A lot going on in that scene. If you remember the movie. It's been a long time since I've watched Conan and Conan the Barbarian. They kind of run together in my mind a little bit with a little mix of Red Sonja as well. A little lava background going on right there. Looking good. Put that off to the side. And then we get the plastic prison. There he is. Look at that. Look at Conan. Looking only like he could look in the plastic prison. I got high hopes for this one, so hopefully it comes true. Let me get the twist ties, everything out of the package. We'll be back with War Paint Conan the Barbarian. All right, we got Conan out of the package. Old Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. There it is, off to the side. See you later. Conan, I always thought, was really what took Arnold to the next level in his acting career. Love me some Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know not everybody likes him like everything out there, but loved Arnold. He was a big inspiration for me when I really started hitting the weights way back in the day. When I really lifted weights real hard for so many years, he was always an inspiration. He was about the same height as me, kind of the same weight, kind of the same build, kind of the same body type, really, actually, as far as some of that goes. Obviously, Arnold way better than I ever was, but we had a lot of stuff in common that I could use some of his principles, move them into my own training and workout, stuff like that. story for another day. Story for another day. But let's get down to Arnold. Love me some Arnold. We'll start with the hands going on here. So we get 2 fisted hands, and we do get 2 gripping hands. They do go up and down on these hands, so that is cool. And then on his hands, he's got, same as Thulsa he's got the open hand. So if he wants to slap people, he's ready with slapping action. But cool, awesome hands as well. And they got the little brown war paint going on through a couple of the fingers, keeping the pattern throughout the figure with the war paint. We got that going on. So you can choose your own hand adventure, as always. Then we do get down to, he's got his, gosh, what are those called? I'm having trouble finding my words today. But he's got his thing to hold the sword. That's what we're going to call it. So we got that going on. Nice fur to it, nice silver accents, everything else. He's ready to put that sword away after it's all bloody. At least clean it off first. But look at that blood on the end. That's the attention to detail I really like. Makes it look like he's really put a hurting on Thulsa serpent friends right here. And then you got the silver, and then you got the beautiful sculpting on this sword here. Nice handle here with, you can even feel the ribs on there. And then you got what is that? Like a skull on the very end. So very, very cool looking sword. A lot of attention to detail on this one. It would suck if it was just a plain Jane sword. It's got that attention to the detail that you need with Conan the Barbarian. And then it does fit right in here, so you can keep it on his hands, you keep it on him, however you want to do it. It does plug into the side of his waist right here. I see the hole. Not a big fan of that look. We've seen that with Ninja Turtles, with Leonardo and Batman 2-pack. If I'm carrying a sword, at least for me, maybe I'm strange, but I'd have a little here, and I'd be able to pull it back He-Man style. That's how I'd want to do it. I don't want to be pulling a sword off my waist. It's just too big and too clunky. It just get in your way, and you'd be fighting it all the time. Put it over your back. Slide it out like He-Man. He-Man perfected it. That's me. That's your sword tip of the day. If you're going to be carrying your sword, do it over the back. Don't do it off to the side. A dagger, fine off the side. Gun, fine off the side. Sword, go through the back. Through the back. That's what we do. So there you go. All right, so beautiful sword there. Then we get down to Conan. We get the extra heads here. 2 beautiful heads. And gosh, once again, Thulsa Doom, I said, what really turned me off to the old Conan figures, the first set from Super 7, was the high gloss faces. They really struggle with human faces at Super 7, we've noticed, especially in the wrestling line, which is disappointing. As you guys know, I love my wrestling figures. But those Conans were so glossy, they almost look like mannequins to me. Yes, they're action figures. Yes, I get it. They're not real people. But they need to have a little bit more depth to them, a little bit more lifelikeness to them. And I feel these still have a touch of that, just a hair. But these are very much improved from the first looks of the Conan heads. Like that shine isn't as deep and bright. It doesn't blind you with the shine. So I do like that a lot. We get the more stoic head on him right here. Arnold just kind of ready for business. Got his eyes kind of off to the side a little bit. That could be just mine. I don't know. It looks like he's kind of giving him the old side eye there. But he's got the beautiful war paint on. He put his war paint. He's ready to go. He's ready for action adventure. Then we got the same head over here, but he's got more of a face going on. Like he's screaming, he's in battle. What I would have really liked to seen on this battle head here is a little blood splatter. Give me a couple blood dots going on here. Now, as you see here, and we'll talk about the figure now, he's got blood splattered throughout his body here. He's been killing people. He's been chopping them with his sword. He's got blood splattered on him. I love that. I'm all in on bloody figures. I'm all in on bloody Conan right here. I would have loved to see just a little bit of blood, maybe in the hair, maybe something. Maybe a third head with that would have been nice. I don't know, but that is one thing I saw that I would have loved to seen a little bit more of. Of course, we'll start with the articulation. Hands are removable. Now, that Thulsa Doom, you really couldn't get a lot of articulation out of him because of the big robe and all that, and you can't take that robe off, so he's almost like a chess piece some ways. Conan does not have that. He is a little bit more mobile. He doesn't got a big robe holding him down. So you got the hands that are removable, of course. They turn all around. Got to get these slapping hands off him as soon as I can. He needs to have fists. He needs to have gripping hands for his sword. That's what you got to have with this Conan. But then you get the single jointed elbows. I know not a lot of people do not like single jointed elbows. I get it. We want the double. We want the extra posability. But at the end of the day, I always say if I have to choose between double jointed or pinless, I would prefer pinless all day long. I'm not a player. I'm not a toy photographer. I like the clean look of the pinless joints, and that's what we get right here. You get the bicep swivel, of course. Nice blood splatter on the bicep right there. Really glistening those buys. And man, how about those tries on Arnold? Oh, those tries. Oh, man, getting after it. And then the Arnold presses on the shoulders. Oh, we could talk working out all day long. But Arnold, good body here. It definitely looks like Arnold to me, too. It looks like young Arnold. What a hairdo on Arnold, too. Maybe I had to try to get a little volumizer in my hair and try to get me a little bit more Arnold-like. A little more 80s, a little height there. So we got that. We got the arms up there. You get the big ab crunch going on. I got a love-hate relationship with this ab crunch. You can get some way back ab crunch. You can get some forward ab crunch. But it always looks a little strange on some of these Super 7s. It does take my eye away from the figure a little bit. You can see the cut lines in there, especially on the back. It does look a little strange, and I've always felt it looks a little strange. And you guys tell me in the comments if you view the same way on that. But I do like the war paint throughout, of course. Then you got the blood splatter on the chest. Man, sign me up all day long for that. Then you get the big loincloth on the back. Very He-Man-esque or Conan-esque, I guess we could say. Two guys that loved a good loincloth. Tarzan would be the other one, I'm sure. Then you can fit his sword on his side. Like I said, it does plug in very easily. A little cumbersome, though. That is a big sword. Doesn't that look just awkward? Just looks very, very awkward to me. And you could put it, you know, in different positions if you want to. You could have it this way, which doesn't really make sense. But you can do that. I just would have rather, and it's probably movie accurate. I can't remember off the top of my head the movie, but it's probably, that's how he had it in the movie. But man, wouldn't that make more sense all day long? You put it like this, you just draw back He-Man style. Maybe I watch too much He-Man, I don't know. But that does plug in there, and it does fit extremely well, and it is very tight in there. So I do appreciate that, because sometimes things like that get knocked off. The minute you move it, it falls off. It fights you all the time. Don't see that with this Conan, so I definitely appreciate that. Then you get down past the loincloth. He's got his pants, tights, whatever you want to call them. He's got those nice lines through it. I mean, it looks weathered. It looks like it has some sculpt to it. It has a really good look. Then you get those furry boots like a young Bruiser Brody, of course. Furry boots, all the rage back in Conan's time. So you got to have that. Got to keep those legs. Got to keep those calves going. Arnold, much like myself, struggles with the calves. The calves were always the hardest thing for me to work out. I'd try everything I possibly could to grow those calves. You see my dad on the channel. He's 6'8". Everybody is a giant in my family, and me at 6'1", I'm just the littlest guy in the family. But I got the tall man calf disease, so it's very tough for me to grow my calves. Arnold had that too. I tried everything, and I just couldn't make it happen. But one of these days, Kyle's going to have just gigantic calves. Oh, it's going to be a day to be alive. We'll show it on the channel. But Arnold got his calves all covered up. Got to keep those calves warm for sure. If you're walking through the desert, getting crucified in the desert, you got to be warm. And then he's got his boots down here, and you got the typical articulation up, down, all around. No side to side on these, though, just up and down. So we got some of that going on. But very, very cool. I really do like this Conan. Maybe it's the war paint that helps this. You know, we talked about the head, the shine, all that kind of stuff. Maybe it's the war paint that helps dull some of that shine. I'm not exactly sure, but I do like this Conan. This is going to go great in my collection. Since I don't have a huge Conan collection, 2 figures, and maybe I'll get the other 4 one day. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I'll probably put these on the bottom shelf around my He-Man, Super 7, Mattel, Masters Universe Classic stuff. Kind of fits in that whole genre, I feel. So I think that's a good spot for it. He fits like a glove on the stand, of course, so we do have that going on for him. How about a little comparison size-wise? Of course, I keep bringing up He-Man in this video, so why wouldn't we compare him to a little He-Man? So there's He-Man from the Masters Universe Classics line. Very, very similar figure, of course. Same kind of articulation, all that. No pinless joints on this one. Pinless joints on this one, though. So we got that going on. And then we put him next to Thulsa Doom. Why wouldn't we, huh? There's old Thulsa Doom. Thulsa Doom stands just a hair taller. Just a hair. And that could be the whole headdress he's got going on right there. But definitely a hair taller. Definitely happy enough. This is a line in the kind of a line. I'm not all in. I don't have the other ones. But just having these two, it works for me. You know, we have collections out there, and I can see a lot of people with He-Man. Hey, I just want He-Man, Skeletor. I'm done with the line. That's all I need. Just want them represented. This is kind of like me. Thulsa Doom, Conan, hey, I'm good. But guess what? You come out with Wilt Chamberlain. You come out with Red Sonja. You come out with some evil guys. Kyle's weak. Kyle's weak, my friends. I might jump in, and I'm very, very itchy to go back and get the first series of Conan the Barbarian. Very expensive series, though, so I don't know if it's, I don't know. I'd have to really put the pen to the paper, do the old math. I don't know if it's really in my wheelhouse, but we'll see. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Maybe one day I'll go back and get them. Maybe I won't, so we'll see. Stay tuned. Stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe. And speaking of the channel, make sure you leave a comment. What are your thoughts on this Conan? Do you have all the other Conan figures? Are you all in? How do you feel about this one? How do you feel about Thulsa Doom? Chime in on him as well. Let me know your thoughts on Conan the Barbarian Super 7 Ultimate Edition. And then while you're here, give the video the old thumbs up. Hey, give it the old thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Hit the old notification. We got videos all the time, as you guys know. Love to have you a part of the fun, so subscribe to the channel. Follow along on Patreon for this video and many, many other videos much earlier on Patreon. And then, of course, you can hit me up on Twitter at SirPaul64, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Support the channel. So for Conan the Barbarian, I'm Kyle the Barbarian, and I will see you guys all real soon.